Imagine this. You're talking to someone, thinking the conversation is going fine, and later you find out they described you as a bit strange, kind of off, or the classic, I don't know, something about them just didn't click. And you sit there wondering, what did I do? What did I say? But here's the uncomfortable, slightly dark truth. It's rarely the big, dramatic moments that push people away. Most connections die quietly. Not with explosions, but with tiny cracks, micro-habits, invisible glitches in the way you speak, react, listen. The kinds of things you never notice, but everyone else feels. People don't drift away suddenly. They fade. Like lights dimming in a hallway you didn't realize you were walking alone. And that's what we're talking about today. The subtle conversation habits that silently make people pull back from you. Even if your intentions are good. Especially if your intentions are good. The first habit is saying a lot, while saying nothing. The, I'm fine, it's whatever, yeah, kinda, or I don't know replies. You use them because they're safe. Because opening up feels dangerous. Because silence feels awkward. But when your words have no depth, no emotional texture, no little spark of authenticity, people feel like they're talking to a closed door. Not in a bad way, just in a way that doesn't invite connection. Conversations die when they can't breathe. And people walk away from what feels empty, even if you're full of things you never say out loud. Then there's the habit of listening like you're buffering. You're nodding, you're making eye contact, but mentally, you're rehearsing your next line, crafting your perfect reply, preparing your point. It's not malicious, you just want to say something meaningful, but they feel the disconnect instantly. Because humans are emotional animals before intellectual ones. They feel presence. They feel absence. And when your attention flickers, even for 2 seconds, they feel unseen. You'd be surprised how fast someone withdraws when they sense you're more interested in talking than understanding. The third habit lives in almost everyone: emotional one-upping. Someone shares something vulnerable, and you try to relate, but accidentally overshadow them. They talk about their stress, and you mention your worse stress. They talk about a problem, and you talk about a bigger one. You think you're bonding, but what they hear is, your pain isn't enough to matter on its own. They won't argue, they won't call you out, they'll just feel slightly smaller around you. And people don't return to conversations where they feel small. Another habit? Over-explaining. You justify everything. Your choices, your opinions, your feelings, your sentences. Not because you're weak, but because you're scared of being misunderstood. Every time you add, I mean, I don't know if that makes sense, I just feel like, or sorry but, you chip away at your own presence. People don't think, wow, how considerate. They think, why are they so unsure? A simple sentence becomes a labyrinth. A clear thought turns into a monologue. And slowly, people mentally check out. Not because they dislike you, because the conversation feels heavier than it should. Then there's the quiet poison, low-grade negativity. Not dramatic complaining, not huge rants, just tiny pessimistic comments sprinkled like ashes. Yeah, but that probably won't last. Must be nice. I doubt it'll work anyway. These small shadows shift the entire energy. You might not even notice you're doing it. It becomes instinct. A way to protect yourself from disappointment. But people feel it. Not consciously, not directly. Just a subtle heaviness. Like a room with no windows. You don't have to be overly positive, just avoid being the emotional rain cloud no one notices until they leave the conversation feeling tired. Another habit that pushes people away? Accidental disinterest. Microsignals. The tiny things, glancing at your phone. Looking slightly over their shoulder. Reacting a second too late because you zoned out. You're not trying to be rude, you're just human. Distracted. Exhausted. Maybe anxious. But people interpret these small flickers as they don't care. And nothing makes someone pull away faster than the feeling they're boring you. And then there's the darkest habit of all. The one that destroys emotional connection quietly, without a sound, making the moment about your comfort instead of theirs. Someone shares something heavy, and you rush to fix it. You minimize their feelings because they make you uncomfortable. You change the topic because vulnerability feels too real. You turn their confession into advice, logic, jokes, anything to avoid sitting in the raw emotion with them. People don't want perfect responses. They want safe presence. And when you can't hold their feelings without folding into your own discomfort, they stop trusting you with their deeper selves. That's when the real distance begins. Here's the twist. None of these habits make you a villain. They make you human. Almost everyone develops these behaviors as armor, tiny shields built from fear, insecurity, past hurt, or simply not being taught emotional awareness. But armor doesn't just keep danger out, it keeps connection out too. And the truth is, you're not pushing people away because you're uninteresting or unlovable. You're pushing people away because you've been surviving instead of communicating. Protecting instead of connecting. But the moment you start noticing your patterns, your empty replies, your distracted listening, your quiet negativity, your emotional detours, you gain power. Conversations change. People feel lighter around you. They start opening up more. They start wanting to stay longer. Because suddenly, being around you feels like being understood. Not judged. Not overshadowed. Not dismissed. You don't have to become perfect. You just have to become aware. Because the truth is simple. People aren't leaving you. They're leaving the habits you didn't realize were speaking louder than your intentions. And habits? They can be rewritten anytime you decide to stop hiding behind them. So start noticing, start adjusting, and watch how the tiniest shifts in how you show up can transform every conversation and every connection you have.